Feast your eyes on this beautiful Brunswick stew. It has a classic stick of cornbread, and it's all jazzed up with jalapenos, crispy bacon, and cheddar. Now, let's get cooking. We're starting with delicious bacon in a sizzling Dutch oven. Now, stirring is key to keeping it from sticking. And I found out 350 degrees is a bit too fiery, so I settled down to about 282. And pork is a Georgia contribution, and I must say a great improvement, especially over the more traditional rabbit and squirrel. Now it's time for some smoked shredded pork shoulder. And let's marry up all that pork with this bacon goodness. And this reminds me of family gatherings, where every family brought a goodie to share. Watermelon pickles, pecan pies, chocolate balls, and nutty fingers. Now, this is turning out just like Grandma's. Now, minus the vermin and the possum. Next up, we're adding shredded bits of hen. My family called it a $3 hen. It's now $14. But it's rich in flavor, tough as nails, but perfect for long cooking. Now, this is not your average chicken, but it sure adds soul to the stew. Here come the tomatoes, y'all. Fresh, canned. I know these will do the trick. They're kind of like magic eraser. Deglazing the bottom and mixing in all that wonderful flavor. And, you know, this stew's got a lot of history, from Virginia's rabbit and chicken to Georgia's love of pork, but today we're going to do this my way. Time for those Lima beans, a hearty, homegrown southern staple through and through. Can't forget the corn, essential to any Brunswick stew. Now, I'm using white corn today, but you know my grandma always preferred shoe peg corn, which adds a lot of sweetness to the mix. Shh, here's my secret. Homemade bone broth from the hen. It's easy, y'all. Just use those leftover bones in a pressure cooker, and in about 30 minutes, you'll have yourself a broth full of flavor. Here comes some cubed baking potatoes. Now, I've tried them all ways, but cubing them raw, now that's the ticket. It's an easy fixing which gives it body and soaks up all the stew's wonderful flavors. Now, I'm pouring in more of that delicious bone broth. It's all about laying in layers of flavor. Now, we're going to let this simmer nice and slow, like a lazy southern afternoon. Cover it up. We'll let it cook for about 90 more minutes and watch the magic happen. Now's the perfect time for a taste test and some seasoning and a good shake of black powder and some Worcestershire sauce, aka Worcestershire. This stew's about to take on a flavor journey. Let's cover it up and we'll give it another 3 hours. Slow and steady wins this race. All right, it's tasting time again, and I want just the right spoonful. Ooh, that's hitting the spot. Just a few more hours, though. Well, we cooked up an awesome stew in less than 8 hours. You can do it quicker, but this is all about slow simmer for that perfect taste and texture, just like they did in those big old cast iron pots. Just look at this bowl of Brunswick stew. It's more than just a meal. It's a warm embrace from the South. With each spoonful, we dive into a blend of flavors that tell a story as rich as its history. You know, the beauty of this dish is how we bring people together, not just around the table, but the kitchen too. And like these slices of jalapenos, they're not just a garnish. They're an invitation to customize this stew to your own liking and make it as mild or as fiery as your heart desires. So as I break off a piece of this cornbread and savor these last bites, I want to thank y'all for joining me on this culinary adventure. We've just taken a trip back to the 18th century, brought it into our modern kitchens, and added our own twist to it. This Brunswick stew, it's more than just food. It's a piece of history. It's a taste of tradition, and it's a whole lot of love.